Texas Tech is once again making news today as the university made an official announcement regarding some changes coming up in the fall. Coming up, we'll let you know what you can expect before you register for classes.
Students looking for entertainment this past weekend had some off-campus options to fill their time. Find out where you could pick up some local goods and check out a new art exhibit next.
And the Texas Tech men's basketball team is less than a day away from returning to postseason play, with hopes of making another run through the NCAA tournament. We'll let you know which opponent is up first in sports.
This is the MCTV Weekday Update.
Welcome to the Thursday edition of the MCTV Weekday Update. I'm Anakin Rayos.
And I'm Madison Hartin.
We have some breaking news today after Texas Tech administrators announced plans to return to classroom capacities to pre-pandemic levels for the fall 2021 semester. Earlier this morning, TTU President Lawrence Skuvanik sent out a memo to faculty, staff, and students stating that in August, the university will allow for 100% capacity in all on-campus academic facilities. This includes classrooms, teaching laboratories, and any other facilities that are scheduled for regular instructional use. Along with the increase in capacities, the memo also states that the university plans to return to face-to-face teaching for all courses that were typically taught on campus before the pandemic. However, Texas Tech will continue to offer online classes, but most classes will return to modality offered before the university moved to virtual options last March. President Skuvanik's announcement also addressed the university's plans for the upcoming summer 2021 sessions. Starting in June, classroom and lab capacities will be increased to 50%, which is a slight jump from the current 25 to 30% capacities that have been allowed during the current spring semester. Many classes that are typically taught on campus during the summer will once again be offered through online or hybrid options. However, the increase in capacity will also allow university departments to schedule a few more on-campus sections that would not have been possible using current capacity guidelines. The memo goes on to state that the university will continue to follow CDC guidelines and advice from local health experts on the use of masks inside campus buildings. At this time, masks are still required indoors on the Tech campus, but it is unclear if that policy will continue after the spring semester ends in May. Advanced registration for the 2021 summer and fall semester starts Thursday, April 1st.
The decision to move to normal capacities in the fall is largely based on the increasing availability of the COVID-19 vaccine and improvement in coronavirus numbers here in Lubbock. As of yesterday afternoon, Lubbock health officials reported that only 14 new additional active cases of COVID-19 in Lubbock County. That was actually a slight jump from Tuesday's report, which included only 5 new cases of the coronavirus. Tuesday's report was the lowest number of the new cases reported in a single day since June 9, 2020. Along with new cases, Wednesday's announcement also included 7 new recoveries, bringing the total number of currently active cases down to 163. There are also 20 people with active cases of COVID-19 in Lubbock County hospitals. The hospitalization rate sits at 2.29%. Here on campus, there were 2 new COVID-19 cases included in yesterday's report and no recoveries. That brings the total number of cases reported this year to 205. For the week, there have been 4 new cases of the coronavirus reported among faculty, staff, and students. But before Monday, it had been more than 7 days since a new case of COVID-19 had been confirmed on campus.
With COVID-19 numbers improving across the Lubbock area, there's also been a few more options for local residents to enjoy some in-person events and activities. And one of those venues has been offering local goods for purchase every weekend, even during the toughest days of the pandemic. Every Saturday, vendors from around the Lubbock community gather to sell their products at the Wolfforth Farmers Market just outside the Lubbock city limits. From 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., anyone and everyone is welcome. The Wolfforth Farmers Market provides a unique experience for consumers interested in a family-friendly and interpersonal shopping environment. Vendors from around the community offer various goods from desserts, healthy produce, and organic dairy to house decorations and pottery.
But what we want them to take away from the farmers market is just a great experience overall, and for them to see the breadth of all the different products that are here and what they can get that is made locally. You know, a lot of the things that are here we could get different places. We could probably go to a one-stop shop and get everything, but coming here you can get from different individuals. You can meet the people who are roasting your coffee, growing your vegetables, you know, raising your eggs. So you can get to meet those people, understand the process, really talk through. I mean, we could talk you through the entire process here. So
For more information about the Wolfforth Farmers Market, you can visit their website at wolfforthfarmersmarket.com or check out their social media accounts by searching for Wolfforth Farmers Market on Instagram and Facebook.
Another option to fill some extra time is to stop by one of Lubbock's many art galleries. And one venue located on the east side of town is currently hosting a special collection of photos created by a local artist. Last Friday, a new art exhibit opened at the East Lubbock Art House. The display showcases the work of photographer Jane Lindsay and her And Justice for All exhibition. Lindsay works for the County Private Defender's Office in Lubbock, and each of the photos depict life in the criminal justice system. The goal of Lindsay's exhibit is to help bring light to those who work in the system and establish the idea that individuals are worthy of love and compassion, regardless of whether they are a criminal or a public servant.
All of it relates to the criminal justice system, people who are currently in the system, people who have come out of the system or who were heavily affected by the criminal justice system with our paid public servants, police officers, people who were killed, who were abused by police officers, or even jailers and jail workers as well.
The And Justice for All exhibit will be on display at the East Lubbock Art House from now until April 30th. For more information on the exhibit and when you can see it in person, visit eastlubbocarthouse.org.
Yesterday, the Lubbock area experienced a near day-long wind event. Wind speeds range from between 20 and 50 miles per hour, with gusts as high as 60 miles per hour. And along with the wind, there was a lot of dust in the air, making for a rough day getting to and from class. Luckily, we seem to see an improvement in conditions today, but will that continue into the 3-day weekend? Madison is in the Weather Center with the latest look at the forecast. Madison.
Thanks, Anakin. Well, we have seen an improvement over yesterday. Looking out at our MCTV tower cam right now, you can see that the skies are blue and mostly clear, but yesterday there was just a thick amount of haze that was just permeating that lower atmosphere there. It was pretty dusty outside. I remember sitting outside at the bus stop and physically seeing the dust start to collect on my phone screen. It was just so dusty outside. But that particulate matter has mostly settled due to the wind slowing down, and we have a fairly nice day outside. For today, our high temperature climbed up to 63 degrees Fahrenheit with sunny and mild conditions and a wind coming from the north at 10 to 20 miles per hour, so a lot more manageable than 40 mile per hour wind gusts. For this evening, we're going to be seeing temperatures drop back down just to the freezing point, but we're not going to be seeing much in the way of freezing precipitation. I know everyone is still scarred from Snowmageddon, but I promise winter is gone from the Lubbock area, with some clear and cold conditions and an easterly wind coming at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Now, looking at the South Plains as a whole for this evening, we're going to be seeing some relatively cooler temperatures across the board. We're going to start to see some freezing temperatures out there at Dimmitt and Muleshoe, sitting at 28 degrees, which is our coolest temperature of the evening, but this is going to be short-lived. We're in that weird point in the year where at night we see temperatures drop back down into the 30s and 40s and sometimes down into the 20s, but by the time it warms up by mid-afternoon, it is fairly warm outside. So we're in a bit of a pendulum swing right now when it comes to Lubbock weather. All I know is that means you need to wear a sweater when you go out in the morning, but by mid-afternoon you're going to die of heat stroke if you have that on. Pretty standard temperatures, cool temperatures for Saturday night as well. We're going to be seeing temperatures start to dip back down. Again, our coolest temperatures being out there at the northwest of us at Friona with 33 degrees Fahrenheit, so a little bit chilly across the board. Good news is that for Saturday, we are going to be seeing some warmer conditions. Out at Aspermont, they're going to be seeing a high temperature of 72 degrees, so we do have some warmer temperatures to look forward to, but sadly coming up in our forecast is a little bit more wind for the area. I know we're all tired of the wind, but that's just spring here on the South Plains. It's a little bit gusty. For our long weekend for Friday, we're going to be seeing a high temperature of 65 degrees, a low of 37, and a southeasterly wind coming at 10 to 15 miles per hour, but sunny skies. The sunny skies are going to continue into Saturday, but sadly the wind is back. For Saturday, we have a high temperature of 72, a low of 46, and a southeasterly wind coming at 20 to 30 miles per hour with 40 mile per hour wind gusts possible. And mostly similar for Sunday. I know everyone was hoping that the weather would be nice for the long weekend, but sadly it is still gusty outside. For Sunday, a high temperature of 77, a low of 54, and a southeasterly wind coming at 15 to 25 miles per hour with 45 mile per hour wind gusts possible. So if you're planning on going outside that weekend, definitely hang on to your hats if you've got them on, because if you don't, they might just blow away. And don't fret too bad. A little bit of wind never killed anyone here on the South Plains. That's all for MCTV Weather. Back to you, Anakin.
Thanks, Madison. Last week, students passing by the new Red Raider Plaza outside the sub may have been caught off guard by a traveling street preacher and his wife, who used the public area to stir up some mixed emotions on spirituality. MCTV's Kritsia Williams headed over to the sub to find out more about the unusual event.
Here on the Texas Tech campus, we have a lot of different organizations students can join to express their beliefs and be a part of a group that support the same things. On the other hand, an off-campus organization called the Campus Ministry USA travels to college campuses to preach the Word of God. Brother Francisco is one of the travelers with the Campus Ministry USA and said they get mixed reactions from the student body.
We are a team from Campus Ministry USA. It's organized and run by Brother Jed Smock out of Indiana. And we travel the country from Florida to California in the spring, from usually late January to sometime around May, preaching and teaching on college campuses. We've had some really good meetings this week. We've had up to like 200, 250, sometimes 300 students meeting in the center and receiving the gospel as we're preaching it. Some students view us as entertainment, and other students take us seriously. My job is I mostly just like to talk to the students one-on-one, and that's where the gospel is preached in a real sincere basis.
Sister Pat is a traveler with the Campus Ministry USA, and she said she wants to warn and speak with students about their sins.
Nobody should warn here. I mean, we have at least 300 children. Tell them they'll never be a woman until they know God, you know. And children out here, and they're in gross sin, and they think it's okay. But God doesn't think it's okay. So we want to warn them. You know, I was just to warn them.
Students here on campus gathered around Brother Jed, his wife, and the people that traveled with them during their time here. Some students agreed, but a lot had other emotions. Joe Rosenwinkel, a student here on campus, said overall he thinks it's a good thing for the Campus Ministry USA to be here in light of giving others a voice.
I do not agree with what they are yelling. A lot of what they do is hurtful stuff for a lot of people, and that's clear by some of the counter-protesters. But I do think that freedom of speech is important, and I'd say it is ultimately a good thing that they are out here saying what they are saying, because it helps give a voice to the people who are willing to fight them, and to make their own voices heard on campus, and to give this whole free speech area, in the true sense of its word, free speech.
Another student here on campus, Chaz Kennedy, said he's been a Christian his whole life and believes that Brother Jed, his wife, and his ministry don't align with what he's been taught about Christianity.
In my opinion, he's not teaching the word, because God teaches people to love each other equally, but he teaches people that God hates people, which is not true. I mean, he means well intentionally, I think he does, but he's going about it the wrong way, and that's upsetting people.
With all the mixed emotions regarding the Campus Ministry USA and their time on campus, the week-long event highlighted the importance of free speech and individual viewpoints. For MCTV, I'm Kritzia Williams.
After nearly 2 years since their postseason competition, the Texas Tech men's basketball team is now less than 24 hours from their debut in the 2021 NCAA tournament. The Red Raiders are currently in Bloomington, Indiana, prepping for their first round matchup against Utah State. The Red Raiders entered the tournament as the 6th seed in the South region, and the Aggies are 11th seed. Tomorrow's game is the first postseason action that Tech has seen since playing in the championship game back in 2019. But this team already has a special place in the record books, as this is the first time in school history for the men's team to be selected to play in 3 consecutive NCAA tournaments. Tip-off for Tech versus Utah State is set for 12:45 p.m. tomorrow with TV coverage on TNT.
Back here in Lubbock, the Red Raider baseball team has had a few days of rest after knocking off the UConn Huskies in a 4-game weekend series. Tech downed the Huskies in all 4 matchups, but the ending to the series was also one of the most iconic in program history. Freshman Nate Rombach, redshirt freshman Cal Conley, and junior Braxton Fulford hit back-to-back home runs in the 10th inning to lead the Red Raiders to a walk-off win. The 3 hits gave Tech one of the most dramatic endings possible in baseball and capped off a 14-game winning streak that has the team surging just in time for Big 12 play. The Red Raiders will face their first conference opponent this weekend as the Oklahoma State Cowboys come to town for a 3-game series. The Cowboys enter the contest ranked number 14, setting up a top 25 matchup with number 7 ranked Texas Tech. Even though the Red Raiders have won 14 straight, this is the first and only time they faced ranked competition this year since losing to 3 top 10 teams at the beginning of the season in Houston. Tech versus Oklahoma State starts tomorrow night at 6:30 at Dan Law Field at Rip Griffin Park. First pitch for the remaining 2 games is 2 p.m. on both Saturday and Sunday. Limited seats are still available for all 3 matchups, but if you can't make it out this weekend, you can catch all the action on Big 12 Now on ESPN+.
Tech baseball isn't the only team in action on the diamond here on campus this weekend. Red Raider softball is also scheduled on home turf with hopes of continuing their own win streak. On Friday and Saturday, Tech softball will welcome the UTEP Miners to Rocky Johnson Field for a 3-game showdown. The Red Raiders are hot off a 3-game sweep of New Mexico, which included 2 shutouts. But on top of that, the Red Raiders also won their previous 2 games of their home invitational tournament in the first weekend of March. Stretching the team's current win streak to 5, Tech is hoping for another sweep to extend the streak, starting with a doubleheader tomorrow afternoon. Start times for Friday's matchup are scheduled for 3 p.m. and 5 p.m., followed by a 2 p.m. for the final game on Saturday. There is no TV coverage for this weekend series, but you can keep up with live stats through TexasTech.com.
So Madison, even though we didn't get spring break this year, we do have a 3-day weekend starting tomorrow. Are you doing anything with the extra day off?
You know, I think I'm going to brave the wind and I'm going to spend a little bit of time outside and hopefully catch up on some schoolwork. What about you, Anakin?
Yeah, about the same here. I'm going to catch up on schoolwork all weekend. Anyways, that's all for today's edition of the MCTV Weekday Update.
Thanks so much for joining us, and be sure to check ttohub.net every day for more news. We'll see you next week.